is up with Realtor Tours?
Hey-o!
Jeff Sibbach, Phil Sexton, coming to you with the Solution of Real Estate podcast, where we talk about how we're putting consumers first, how we're trying to improve the industry. And today's target is the broken, antiquated, time-consuming Realtor Tours and how they exist today in our market.
Yes. I mean, I think that...
Talk to me, Jeff.
Well, I just, it's, I think this is the best time to talk about it because it is to think that I thought they would be dead by now, right? Because the last time I was at Realtor Tour, it was
it in the 1900s?
No. It was about 5 years ago. And it was taking at that time about up to 2 months to get onto the tour that I wanted to go to. So let's go through what the tours are about.
Well, yeah, what's a Realtor Tour? That's when like sellers tour a bunch of realtors to figure out who they want to list their house.
I wish that was it, but no, that's not it.
Oh,
a Realtor Tour is an event where consumers don't take a part of it.
Okay.
Right? Like it's
what is it then?
The tour is for realtors to showcase their homes to other realtors.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Check out my listing, realtor.
Check out my listing, right? So, I mean, in general, it's hosted by typically vendors to the real estate industry, right? Title companies, mortgage companies, usually are the ones that organize it along. They are called affiliates, right? The affiliates usually pay for if there's a breakfast, like the one we used to go to, or the one I used, the one I've attended the most is the Scottsdale Association of Realtors tour and then they have them per area. They would have the North Scottsdale tour, and then they would have the Central Scottsdale and the East Scottsdale and but why we're talking about this is because I think that method, you've heard me say this before, I've let it go for about 4 years, but the point is they're probably at their weakest point. So we should change it now before we
get into a market that has more days on market.
Right. Yes. To me, I mean, it's the reason why the current Realtor Tour, in my opinion, sucks in Arizona. I don't think it's this way in other cities. I'm curious because we'd love to have feedback. Anyone that wants to email us, please go to our Facebook page, which is Real Estate Leopard, and we are going to start a chat on our real estate tours dead or
no.
What is that? Okay, looking for improvement. Well, I mean, because number one to me is that the Realtor Tour doesn't take advantage of the web where we are. Like, to think that we would have anything that, I mean...
hold on. Let me just take a step back. Because 4 years ago, if you were at a tour 5 years ago, I've heard you talk about Realtor Tours. I feel like something happened recently where you were like, the tours, you were thinking, did we have a listing that we wanted to put on tour? Or like, what brought tours back into your mind?
That no one's talking about them. Like, I haven't heard of them.
The void.
Like, the void, the lack of... I thought,
you thought they were gone.
I wanted them to be dead.
Yeah.
Yes, I wanted it. Well, because I wanted it for a long time for it to change because it doesn't benefit the consumer. It doesn't.
You got to tell me a story why. Like, what happened to you where you were like, this makes no sense?
Well, I was trying to think of, to me, I was like, okay, what are the benefits of a new agent going on a tour? Because the benefits that is pitched is you can learn the inventory. Okay. But then I realized that you go there you have to block out 5 hours to see 7 houses. And I was like, that just seemed unproductive to me.
Okay.
And I just was like, well, also, because you go there and you see houses in different price ranges, which actually doesn't help the realtor learn that much, because you go in one that's 500,000 and you go in that's one's $1 million. Like, the way that we learn is by seeing comparative things. And when you jump around price range, because you go through because they usually do them by neighborhoods, but even in DC Ranch or Greyhawk or like in the different neighborhoods, the homes range from 500 to 4 million. So they like, that's not how you learn about houses. The way you learn about houses is if all the houses in North Scottsdale between 600 to 700 that are listed this week, if we could see them all within a 4-hour period of time, you would learn a lot. Like, I would think that the realtors, but I mean, the goal of the.
So that's one. So one you're saying is that from new agent standpoint on learning the inventory, you think that it's broken because it's not all in one category.
Right.
You see too much stuff across the board. So, but that's not the real reason why realtor tours are in place, but that's a benefit that realtors
The real reason that realtor tours are in place is because they're promising their seller they're going to get activity.
Now we're talking.
Right. So the promise is to the seller is that I'm going to we're going
to get publicity for your house.
Right. Meaning, Coldwell Banker used to do a tour, right? So
John Hall and Associates
used to do a tour.
Yeah.
Right. Like they would put the people on the bus, but the problem is that the people that actually sell houses, meaning that some of the realtors sell houses and some of them don't, some of them just keep up their destination. But the people that are selling the houses don't go on the tour. The people that are not busy go on the tour. So then you're misleading your seller who's coming to the tour because you're like, oh, my brokerage that sells, but you're representing the people that actually sell a lot of houses. Although those people don't come to the tour, it's the people that are not busy that, or sell a lot of houses. Or let's say the Sibbach team is going to put a house on tour, then I'm not going, or top agents aren't going. Maybe Adam would go, or an agent from the team would go, or whatever. So to me, we're misleading consumers by saying we're going to get lots of traffic, even though it's not the traffic that they need to. Like, the reason you would pitch a realtor tour to your consumer is because you're going to get lots of, high quality realtors to that. So why don't we put together a tour that actually gets the realtors with buyers in that area to those tours? And the way that we get it is by integrating it into the MLS system.
Oh,
right. The fact that
what, like an open house?
Yes, just like an open house.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like an open house. Like, so what you would say is, if you're in this zip code, your realtor tour is on Wednesdays. If you're in this one, that's the way they do it in Chicago. That's the best one that I heard.
Okay. And what do they do? They go in the MLS, they check the box that says whether they're going to be open or not.
Right.
So or is it assumed that every new listing is open on Tuesday?
Yes, every new listing is
whether they check it on the box or not.
Whatever we want to decide. I'm not sold on, I think
we're just looking for feedback from our listeners on like what good tours are out there, so that we can help our tours locally improve.
Yes, because the goal is to get now I don't know now, because now we have MLS 8.0. Like, because we used to do it during the pre-listing portion of the, it would be maybe coming soon. But the challenge is that the list became unmanageable. And that's what it is, because they're trying to manage it outside of MLS. And for us, I don't see how you can have a tour that's not managed. Like, that's why it's called. Because it's like who hosts it? SAR hosts it. We Serve hosts it. Phoenix Association, they run the tours. So don't they also run MLS?
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, unless it's, because the goal is to do a better job for our sellers.
Right.
And we want to get all the buyers. That way, any agent can come, not just if you belong to that tour, right? Like it opens it up. But I mean, it's like, why are we not working to improve something that we can improve? Because right now there's so few listings that it's a chance for us to upset the apple cart and to rewrite it, because also it's better for your seller that they get that traffic all at one time, right when it comes on the market.
I think you should run for the board of Armless.
The problem is that I can't keep my mouth shut, and sometimes I say things that are against what they like, and then they want to find.
That's one time. Come on, you're a salesman. Don't take one bad situation and think that that's all the time. But because what you're talking about is making a change inside of the MLS system so that there can be a standard that we set, like Tuesdays at 10 o'clock or Mondays at whatever, where there's a set time, and every agent knows that they're either, if they have a new listing coming to the market, then that set time, they can either check the box to say, we're going to be included in this standard or not. And it's not managed by an association that has to pick 10 houses that they're going to put on tour and backlog all the other 35 houses. Like, it's opened up to all new listings in this area have the option of being open during this realtor tour section or not, which is just agent driven.
Yeah. The reality is the consumers now, we're doing it. I think realtors should be doing everything to serve the consumer better for our buyers and for our sellers. Like think about how efficient that would be for a buyer's agent. If they wanted to go to that area, they could see all the houses.
Yeah. So now the hot sheet has whether it's open or not for you to walk through it.
Yes.
On that designated realtor time.
Yes.
Wow. What do you think? Was it like 2 hours in Chicago?
2 to 4 hours. Yeah, no, I think, well, to me, I would like it by different ranges. Maybe the ranges are by price, and then the zip code is by,
so the consumer,
like, they have
benefit,
zones.
Yeah, no, I get it. So then the consumer benefit is that they could drive more realtor traffic through their house because it's more efficient. You're going to get a better quality agent to come get exposure to your listing.
You'd actually find the agents that actually have buyers that are interested, because, if you do a better job for your seller, because it would be, you would actually have people that want to look at 15 homes in an area at one time. Like you could, literally you could probably see, 12 houses in 3 hours, because you would just be able to go door to door, like in the neighborhoods. Like you would be able to see them so efficiently, and then you could do that to preview. It would be to me, I would even say that it's hurting, because it's so hard to preview in today's environment that the agents aren't getting to see the houses, because if you have a buyer interested or whatever, because homes are not sitting on the market, and now you have the thing, you have to come through the open house, and that is, I don't know, it's just I wouldn't go to those tour, like they would try and keep track of what houses they sold on tour. And the way that they used it is, if it was on tour and then it sold, they counted it as a sale. Right? Not like, to me, the idea of doing a tour is to sell houses and to help to educate the realtors.
Okay,
but yeah,
hold on. I think that the unspoken reason for doing a tour is to get price reductions.
Correct. That, but that is,
we just got to talk about it. It's true. It's the reason why people put their house on tour, because they want a bunch of realtors to come through and say you're overpriced, so that then they can go back to their seller and say, look at what these other agents said about.
Well, then let's make them let's call it price reductions, that we could add the.
Well, the only reason why price reductions became the norm for those realtor tours is because it took you 2 months to get a listing on the tour anyway. And what property is going to be on the market 2 months from now?
Well, dude, the thing is I think that we should actually
overpriced ones.
No. But the thing is if you want to get price reductions, then you should go through an apprenticeship program.
Well, that's amen to that. We're going to backdoor.
Right, we're trying to backdoor price reductions. Well, like if you don't know what to say to your seller, put your house on tour so we can get 10 people to write bad feedback. That's just lying to the seller, right? Like that's the thing is I want to raise the level of, because that's
professionalism,
right? Because you're like, okay, well, what do you want? And then I write on mine. I used to go to these things regularly. After going for 10 years, I'm like, these are broken. I can't attend these because we're living a lie, right? Like but here's the thing is if you want to see a house that's $1 million or $2 million, you can't get in to see them. Right. So that is, I don't know if we you will have to have sold a house over $1 million this year to get on into the $1 million houses. I don't know. Like, what is there's lots of things, but to me, the bigger thing that I saw is that it was not integrated with MLS and it was not online. Like, to me, they were like, what?
Maybe it's the board of the Scottsdale Area Association of Realtors that you need to be a part of, because if SAR is the one that's running the tours, then they might need your input to make a change. Maybe they're just going to listen to this podcast. We should send this podcast to all of the existing board members. How about that?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Right. Like to me, it's
let's shake up the tours.
right. Like to me, yes.
There's got to be good tours. The way that tours are managed in other markets, like you said, I mean, Chicago, when Sharon came back, she was like, I wish we did it like we did it there. What cities are you guys listening to this podcast in where you have tours that you say, we have a fantastic system?
Right.
That's what I'm hoping, that you come to the Facebook page on facebook.com/realestateLeopard.
Well, okay. So then what city has the best realtor tour?
Exactly.
And it's not defined by how much, what great food did they serve. And like, to me, that like,
it's not defined by a social event that we enjoy going to. It's defined by, it's real in driving traffic through a house. It's efficient.
No,
if you list a house today, it can be on tour. It can be on tour next week. Like, I don't want these systems that take 3 months to get a house on tour. That doesn't help us.
right. To me, it should be a place where agents can see inventory and that sellers get exposure to the real buy. Like, because think about it, you would then not have to waste sellers' time by setting up previews of go out, like, because we would have to set up individually. If you go preview the houses, you'd have to, if you just had this time at Wednesday between 2 and 4, you got to get there. Right. You just know that that's when you get to go in to see the houses in that area.
Right. It's just a box. We just need a checkbox. Maybe we, you know what? Let's reach out to Mike Werzer. He built FBS.
Right.
If anybody's going to add a checkbox to FBS, it's going to be his product specialist.
But I mean, to me, it's
I got his email. We're going to do it. Let's do it. Let's make change.
I want positive change, but like, to me, it's an opportunity for us to do better by the consumer. And because right now, I thought if I went out to We Serve and I went out to SAR, that they would be
all
gone.
Of the local associations.
Because the thing is, well, here's the reality: is if you have a house that's overpriced in this marketplace, right? Like,
you just wait. The appreciation will fix that.
Yeah, I mean, I figured, like, I just want to make sure we're covering everything, but
tours have been a hot button of yours for a long time,
and nothing has changed because they're run by the people that run them, and I appreciate their time. But if those people are not tech people, then
how do you think the web can be involved?
Well, I think the web could be involved because they have their own sites that they're marketing this stuff. Yeah. Like, I think it would be integrating through MLS. Like, MLS is where all the houses are.
Right.
Like, why we're not integrated with that is ludicrous.
Yeah, like, let us search for which houses are going to be open this week on tour in the MLS, where we search for properties, rather than having to go to some other website to figure out which houses are going to be there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's opportunity. There's room there for sure for improvement. Absolutely. And I think that the people that are in it sometimes, as you know, with things that we're in, is it's hard to zoom out and say, all right, is this the best way to handle this? What other marketplaces are doing this? Are we the best in show, or do we need to make some adjustments, and can we learn from others?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because the affiliates liked it because they were able to see new agents. They were able to,
they need it to be a social experience
so they get to meet
new people. Fair.
Right. But I think that then they could just park themselves at one of the hotter listings, and then the people would come in and they would have a chance. I mean, there's still opportunity in the new system for them to be integrated in the environment, but the realtor should be putting it on for the realtor that their agents get the most benefit and that their sellers get the most benefit. And I don't believe that the current system supports that. And that's why I advocate for change.
And that's why we want to hear what you think about the topic. What do you think, Lena? Facebook.com, like, send them to, let's chat about it.
Yeah.
Should we start maybe we should put this on the Arizona Real Estate Agent Forum as well, where there's 13,000 members.
My frustration is the amount of meetings, and the process is longer than I would like it to be for change in the system.
Right, but how long have you wanted the tours to change?
8 years.
Okay, so how are we doing?
When I dug in, it seemed it was
Sometimes you
very
gotta go
it was
in.
very political.
Sometimes you gotta go
very,
inside.
very political.
Yes,
Very,
yes.
very political.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can make change happen.
But I mean, like in today's environment, do you think the tours was helping? Like, I thought that the tour was meant to try and sell houses. Like all they gotta do is track how many sales come from the tour that next week. And I bet under the new system that we will sell.
I think that tours got started, yes, to sell houses, but actually to let people see what the houses actually had, because they got started back in the book days when you couldn't actually see what was in a house. You couldn't see photos of a house, or even when you could see 6 photos of a house. But now that there's much bigger visual elements of listings, people can see the houses more. And we want more people to walk through.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough one. What is the point? What is the point?
The point is to get more traffic for my seller, to make sure my seller gets top dollar.
Right. And that the traffic is quality
Right.
traffic.
And I would say that this is it's not quality traffic that goes, and it's not convenient. Like, to me, the what is told to the seller and the value is not,
they don't line up. They don't mesh.
There's really not a value for the sell. I mean,
I wonder what the backlog is now of listings, because obviously our inventory when it was 25,000 homes for sale was when we had the 3 months of backlog.
Yeah,
Now that
I
we
went
have
out to the
7,000 homes for sale,
PVRMS.
I wonder what the backlog would be now.
I went out to the Paradise Valley Regional Marketing Tour, or whatever they call it, and that's what I'm saying, is there's probably only the backlog was probably 70 months,
Yeah.
but eventually those houses sell anyway. All right, it's an opportunity for us to improve, so that's all.
All right, let's see it. Let's hear what you guys have to say about different marketplaces around the country. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Now we're back to let's freaking grind this out until the next holiday that comes up.
Awesome.
All right, Sibbach.
Thanks, Phil.
Adios.